Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little bit, but I wanted to get up a video talking about Parker's birth story. I did a video on Benjamin and Riley, and I wanted to make sure that I got one done for Parker before I forget anything. Before I get started with telling y'all how it all happened, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and like this video if you liked it. Like I said, I did this video for Benjamin and Riley, so if you are interested in hearing how they were born, then I'll have them linked in the description. Throughout this pregnancy, I had gestational diabetes again. Because of that, we decided to induce labor, just like we did with Riley. I had to wait until I was 39 weeks, and then we could schedule an injection. So that was what we did. Throughout the pregnancy, I had a higher amniotic fluid level. So I had to watch that because obviously that is not good to have elevated amniotic fluid. Also, towards the end of my pregnancy, my doctor decided to go on vacation for like 2 weeks, probably a little over 2 weeks. So it was pretty stressful, but I basically ended up having to go and see a physician assistant. One of my appointments, I think that was my 36-week appointment, got checked. I wasn't really even dilated at all at that point. And then at my 37-week appointment, I went to another doctor, and she said that I was 3 centimeters and like 70% effaced at that point. But when she was checking me, she couldn't feel Parker's head. So she was like, oh no, like what's going on? Because of that, she had me go and get an ultrasound real quick. And in that ultrasound, Parker basically flipped from head down to sideways, back to head down in a matter of like, I don't even know, 5 minutes. So he was moving all around, and we also found out that my fluid levels had gone back up. They were elevated earlier in my pregnancy. Then I started eating even better and like cutting out certain things and being super strict about the things I was eating. That made my fluid levels go back down to normal, so that was good. But then I guess towards the end, they were a little elevated again. My fluid levels had gone up, and because of that, it was causing Parker to have tons of room to basically swim around in. So he was, like I said, going from head down to sideways, back to head down. And that doctor basically told me, you know, you need to be prepared, because if you come in having contractions or to be induced and he is sideways, that is an automatic C-section. I always have vaginal deliveries. That's what I've had with Benjamin and Riley. So I'd rather not have to do a C-section if I don't have to. So that kind of was, you know, a little scary for me. But during all this time, I was having contractions, or what you would call, I guess, predominal labor. So tons of contractions. I would, you know, time them. They would get intense and painful, but they only happened when I was sitting down. If I was up walking around, I would never get them. My doctor ended up coming back right before my 38-week appointment, which I always had my appointments at the end of the week. So my weeks started over on Saturdays. So Saturdays is when I was in my new week of pregnancy. So basically I went to my 38-week appointment, but it was on a Friday, which means the very next day I was actually 39 weeks. My doctor came back on that Thursday, and I couldn't get an appointment in with him until the next day. So that is when my appointment was. I was still pregnant. The contractions, whatever, that I would always have, never really turned into anything, which was good because my doctor, like I said, was on vacation. He was, I think, out of the country vacation, so like really far away. So he was gone and he came back, so we were like, yes, you know, that's great. So he was super busy that day. We were in and out super fast because he had lots of patients to see, I guess. I got checked. He said I was 2 centimeters and some, and 70% effaced at this point, even though the week before the doctor said I was 3 centimeters. So I guess, you know, when you have multiple people checking you, they, you know, can gauge that in different numbers. But anyway, so that was on Friday. We couldn't believe that Parker hadn't come on his own yet because I had like all the symptoms. I had lost my mucus plug like 3 times. I had all these contractions that didn't really turn into anything. I felt pressure that I've only felt when it was time to push, and just all kinds of things. But yeah, so he ended up not coming, and we made it to the night before my induction. And this time around, we decided to have my mom come and stay at our house to take Benjamin to school and take care of Riley and all of that stuff. And my parents live like 45 minutes away, so it was better for her to just come to our house than for us to take the kids over there and then have to get up really early to take Benjamin to school and all that stuff. So my mom had came that day. I was just, you know, trying to do the dishes and do a little bit of stuff, get prepared for the kids so that my mom didn't have any problems. Also ended up washing our sheets on our bed because I was like, okay, when I come home from the hospital, I'm gonna want clean sheets and it'll be so nice. And so that's what I did. My mom came, we got the kids to bed. It was starting to get late, finishing up dishes, and made the bed, and we went to bed. We needed to be at the hospital at like 5 in the morning, so we knew it was going to be early morning, so we went to bed. And about hour 45 minutes after I went to bed, I woke up, and then a split second later, I just felt a gush of liquid, and my water broke in our clean sheets that I had just put back on the bed. So yeah, that was lovely. So I woke Matt up, told him my water broke, told my mom, who was sleeping on the couch. We were gathering our things and gonna head out the door. So this was a 1:11 in the morning. Keep that in mind because it's interesting when we get to the end. So 1:11, my water broke. I have Matt help me to the bathroom so I can get cleaned up so we can get ready to go, get some new clothes on. He's getting all our last minute things because we did have the hospital bag packed, but we didn't have little things like our chargers for our phones and our glasses, contacts. Let's see what else. And maybe it was just those things. And then obviously getting dressed. So I didn't have any contractions at this point until I was literally putting my shoes on. And it wasn't really that painful or anything. It just was like, I think that's a contraction. So I'm putting my shoes on and we head out the door. I honestly forgot what the time was when we actually left the house. I don't remember exactly, but we didn't take too long. It was probably like 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes max, that we went out the door, got in the car, started driving to the hospital. Now, the hospital is like a 45-minute drive, so we're just hoping that we make it on time because we didn't know how fast labor was going to go. I go from a 6 to a 10, like ready to push in a matter of like, I think with Riley, I went from a 6 to a 10 in like 15-20 minutes. When I get to the end of labor, it's really fast usually. Matt was driving to the hospital. It's dark, all these back roads, trying to be fast, but also watching out for like deer and hogs, because we obviously don't want to run into those. And I started timing my contractions by using an app, and they were starting to get pretty painful. Like, I think halfway to the hospital, I couldn't speak anymore. Matt would be talking to me and I would just go silent. I almost wasn't able to walk into the emergency room because we had to go through that door since it was after hours and in the middle of the night. So I had a contraction, and then it was like, okay, we better hurry up and go. You know, because in between my contractions, I think they were only like maybe 2-3 minutes apart. So not very long between my contractions. I was able to walk in there and sign in, and the lady was needing me to sign some stuff, and it was at that point where I couldn't do anything. I was just trying to focus because they were so painful. The lady didn't, I guess, realize that I was having contractions. She was like trying to get me to sign the electronic thingy that they have you sign now. And my husband had to be like, yeah, she's having a contraction. As soon as she's done, she'll sign it or whatever. So then we had to wait for somebody from labor and delivery to come down and to bring us up to labor and delivery. Somebody finally came down. I felt like we were waiting forever, but Matt said it wasn't that long. And it was a guy. I'm pretty sure that he was like the anesthesiologist or something, because I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. And he didn't seem like he understood labor, like contractions and stuff. He asked if I could walk upstairs, and I was like, no, I can't walk upstairs. So he went and got me a wheelchair. So I sat down, he wheeled me up, got me in the room. I'm still having contractions, like super painful, trying to like lean in the seat. I'm timing them, all that stuff. And he wheels me into my room, and the nurses all just start doing their thing because I obviously just came in, and the guy is like, okay, you can get up now. And like, I couldn't move at this point. Like, I was having a contraction. It was lasting forever. I think this contraction lasted a minute and a half. It was like one of the longest contractions. The guy was like, okay, you can get up now. And the nurse had to be like, she's having a contraction, give her a minute and she'll get up when she's able to. And so that's what I did. I finally was able to get up. I immediately asked for an epidural, and they were like, you'll have to wait before we can give you an epidural or anything. You have to get dressed. We have to get you started on an IV. We have to ask you questions. We got to draw your blood. We got to do all those things before you can get an epidural. So I get up and go in the bathroom. I'm trying to change. I guess I was taking a while because then I hear Matt asking, are you okay in there? So I finally come out. They help me get on the bed. And then basically I'm having contractions as a lady is trying to stick a needle in my arm to get blood. I also have a nurse on the other side of me asking questions, and I was having such bad contractions that I couldn't talk, and Matt actually had to take over and answer questions for me. Another nurse, because there were so many nurses in here, another nurse was trying to put the little band thing around my belly to measure Parker's heartbeat. They were having trouble finding it when they put it on there, so then they were like, we can't find it, we need you to lay on your side. So that was difficult, trying to lay on my side. Still weren't really able to find it. So they're saying, okay, we need to get you on your hands and knees. Decided to check me at that point, and I don't even know what they were talking about. They were saying things. At this point, this is when I wasn't really aware of everything that was going on. I was in so much pain. I was crying. I was thinking to myself, I can't do this. Like, how am I supposed to do this? This is so painful. It hurt so bad. I was crying. I think I started to get loud at this point. If anybody knows me, you know that I am not a loud person. I'm quiet. I don't talk much. I'm kind of a more shy person. And that is not how I was during this labor and delivery. At one point noticed that they were like setting up the table and nurses were talking, and I heard a doctor's name being mentioned. This doctor was on their way, and I yelled, or I didn't think I yelled, but Matt said that I did. All I said was, I was like, no, or something like that. And it's because it was the doctor that delivered Benjamin. Things happened and I switched doctors, and I thought they got confused and thought that was my doctor, but it turns out that was the on-call doctor. My doctor obviously wasn't going to be able to be there because it was the middle of the night and he wasn't there. So on-call doctor, I think they were saying that she was on her way or something, because I guess at this point they realized that I was like really close to pushing, because then they're like asking me if I needed to push, and I was just crying. I was like, I don't know, like, just, I was in pain. So they had me go on my left side and then turn back to my front, and immediately they started screaming at me to keep pushing, you can do it, keep pushing. And I was just screaming at the top of my lungs in so much pain. Like, I kept thinking, how am I supposed to do this? It's like, I don't even know. It was painful. And they were screaming at me to keep pushing. Basically, all of a sudden, he was born. I think I only pushed the one time. They started screaming at me to keep pushing, and I pushed, and he was here. Matt said that the on-call doctor didn't even make it there in time. He was already halfway out before the doctor even got in the room, and basically the doctor just gave me stitches. That's all she did. So he was born at 2:44 in the morning. Remember I said that my water broke at 1:11. So yeah, that was really short labor. By the time that I got in the room to when I had him was 19 minutes. While they were hooking me up in the beginning, when they didn't really know how crazy it was, they were talking about, yeah, the lady across the room, she had a really fast labor. She only took an hour once she got here, and I basically had Parker in 19 minutes from when I got in the room to when I had him. While Parker was getting all checked out, the one nurse was like, okay, we need to finish this paperwork. That basically it all happened so fast that the paperwork wasn't able to get finished, but needed to be done before. Yeah, that's basically how Parker came. Like, super fast labor and delivery. My doctor came later in the morning because he obviously was supposed to be I was supposed to be getting induced, and he apparently had said that he had it in my chart that to call him if I ever went into labor. And yeah, he wasn't there. He wasn't able to do it. He joked around with Matt saying that next time he needs to learn how to deliver a baby because we won't make it to the hospital in time. So that is definitely scary and something that we have to think about if we ever do decide to have another baby. Don't want one anytime soon. Yeah, like I said, I have fast labors, go from a 6 to a 10 in like 20 minutes. And this time was really fast. So yeah, that was the first time my water broke on its own with Riley. I had no fluid. It had disappeared. And this time, yeah, it broke on its own. But anyways, I hope I didn't forget any little details in the story. Sometimes it's hard to remember everything. But I think I remembered everything. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.